Welcome to another tips and tricks video. We'll be doing small details that you may have missed, or some tips and tricks that you may just not have noticed. First one is the unloader. This thing's been around for a long time, probably since before many of you began playing. It has a new detail though. For now, it is red when it's unable to be used. And that's because my cart is out of range. It's not under it. Once it can be unloaded though, pull it up underneath. When you first start your game too, it'll show you the hitbox, which is the flat section. Once you're within the hitbox, you turn on, it shows yellow. Then you hit that, turns green, and it unloads. Currently there's a glitch that it stays within range even once you get way out of range. However, it'll be fixed eventually. Sorry. Once again, I am sick because I've got terrible luck. The next little detail is that the advanced saws have been changed. They used to hold up to 25 logs. I know I'm not showing the storage right now, but it's just because it'd take forever to have it click out. However, now they hold at most 10. Let's do that trick so that it spits it out fast. Rather than it holding up to 25, and I haven't noticed this recently, stops at 10, and you just start to have a mess. It's not the worst thing, but it is pretty unfortunate because, see, there we go. Took a little bit to force that. It was pretty nice to be able to hold so many. For the next detail, we go over to the most important item in the game, aside from wood. Iron, and then its ore. Recently, about the same time that it was revamped, the ore got updated, only the iron ore, to look different. It's now more of a ironish, rock-ish look. However, as you can see, on the drills, there's that good old-fashioned rusted hunk of metal. I kind of liked it. It seemed kind of homey, but that's just because that's how I started playing the game with. On the sorters, bada boom, and of course on the smelters, right there, uses the old symbols, and then on the storage, uses the old symbol. It's not a big deal. It's kind of funny, but just a little small detail that probably wasn't picked up on by everybody. Next little tip. I like the plots 5 through 7 because it's the closest to the town, it's easy to get to, and the teleporter is just up that road. However, that means that you either have to go way out of your way to get to it. You know, you have to take one of these long paths to get to a bridge. Or you cross the river. I used to use over there, however, with some experimentation, which that path somewhat works. I would not recommend it. This right here works 100% of the time. Around it is sort of sketchy, but it's fairly safe, and it's the easiest spot to get out of if you get stuck. And everybody uses the auto miners, the drills, excuse me, the tree cutters as well, tree harvesters, and it also has a safe spot right there. And that leads me into my next point, which, when you're going to be using the tree cutter, you're going to want to know which one is the best to use. That's a good question. Should I go for the cheapest, or the most expensive, or maybe even the middle of the road? A friend of mine did the math for me, and I was wasting money. I thought middle of the road was the best. It does middle of the road on price, tree growth, and the log production. Palm has the lowest amount of production, the highest speed, and the lowest price. Oak has the slowest speed, the highest production, and the highest price. Recently, they boosted the growth speed, so that's no longer a factor, which means oak is the undeniable champion of the cheapest per log and now the fastest per log. Which, when you use it, sure it's pricey, but whatever you use it for, it'll be less per log unless you're buying just like one box, which then it doesn't matter. But I mean, if you're doing it at that point, you might as well use my other tip. After you cut down a tree, during the recent update, not many people know about this yet. Or if you use a shovel, I still have the lowest level because this is very new. I don't plan to use it much though, because the cannons have helped produce enough money that it's not too much of a worry. Just like that, you get a seed box with about 2 to 5 seeds, I've heard. I think it was 1 to 3, and 2 is the typical result. The next tip, something that you may find yourself doing often, maybe not so much anymore, but getting stuck or flipped. I was trying to do this earlier, but I could not get myself flipped over, so I would just get myself stuck right there. Huh. Let's just take back a second, and then we'll go up fast, get ourselves stuck. If you need to suddenly stop, they fixed the button so that you can just click it rather than having to hit S multiple times. And it works pretty well now. Say you get stuck like that. There we go. I can no longer WASD. Nothing functions. Don't despawn and respawn your cart having to pick up all your supplies again. Even if you're flipped, this works even easier now because you have to press E to enter rather than having to hit the C. However you do that, you jump out, hop back in, and it resets your cart in an upright position and unlocks it from whatever locked position, bringing you back to rideable condition. For my next trick, we are going to need to venture into the city. This is where you'll spend most of your early to mid-game, and even a good portion of your late game. Less of it now that the fort exists and other locations which you can sell advanced items and some raw goods for high dollar, or at least higher dollar. If you need to spawn your cart and the stable master was abducted, or the mayor, as they typically are. They might have fixed it, however, assuming it's not fixed. You go up to the horse symbol, and you can activate it. You can spawn it, despawn it, you can upgrade it. I've upgraded the chest door to 1 time. Everything else is just how it used to be, so the old gen carts will all be 3 out of 5, 4 out of 6, and a 1 out of 8, which, honestly, it's amazing. The only downside is how limited the upgrades are. 9 out of 12. That is not a lot of leeway. I get it so that you can't have just an assumed insanely tricked out cart. That gives me just 3 upgrades to work with, so If I ever upgrade it again, I doubt it, because I like having an OG cart, even if it's only slightly OG. I upgraded the main cart, not the back one. Had that mixed up. Which that's also something fairly new is the positions, but you'll find out pretty quickly. You can no longer stack it to the sky. I used to do that a lot, and it caused a lot of issues. For my final tip, well, you can build cannons without getting the cannon schematic. You will miss out on a badge, which not many people have. It's still marked as impossible. If only I knew about this sooner, I had seen the fix, but I thought I was out of luck. So I did it. I was like one of the, I think, 27th people to get it, or 32nd people. However, you have to go into your schematics, go over to decor, and you find it right by that. You can build it without the schematic. I'm sure they'll fix it at some point. However, you might as well get it if you're going to be mass producing them, so that you can be a cool dude with a nice attitude. Want to make sure that it came through clearly and didn't sound like something else. That's my final tip and trick of the video. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.